Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. The other week I proposed a community experiment, meaning trying to do a little bit of a test to see what creates influence, how do we identify influence, and I asked you to help me by being part of the community and commenting to express your challenges on building your own influence or your company's influence. Like, how do you grow? How do you break through the noise? And it wasn't just about testing community engagement, to be honest. It was really testing something that I've been researching for many years and fascinated with, which is proving that influence really isn't about following on a social media platform or a status even, but that it's really about creating value and impact. You did an excellent job in validating that theory, I guess I should say, because what the results revealed, and you can go back and check out the video, and especially the comments below the video. First of all, thank you, because I was worried that we weren't even going to get the minimum number of participants, and we did. The second win is that we proved really great value in ways that go against what we typically learn about or hear about in marketing and influence, which is that the most influential members that we picked, they weren't the first to comment. They also weren't the ones with the most credentials or status. I mean, they could have been, but on YouTube, you don't see that. And they weren't those who necessarily posted the most, right? Which is ironic because those are the metrics that a lot of marketing agencies and businesses and people try to create. The way they think of influencer marketing, they're thinking of numbers of posts, first to comment, how many times you comment, people with status or big followings. So rather, influence emerged through those who created value through three real ways, which was one, thoughtful vulnerability in sharing their challenges. Two, this generosity to offer perspective and opinion, regardless of your experience or credentials. There's something very thoughtful and generous about offering your time to comment on others and offer your advice, your own perspective, your own experience. And number three, creating connection that resonate or amplify everyone's understanding of whatever the topic they're expressing, the challenge they're expressing. That really creates connection and bonding, right? When we go, yes, I get what you're saying, or this is my version of this. I wanted to show you what I call the value creation metrics that shows the different areas that how I measured influence, which again, it's almost like where the quality of content meets the depth of your engagement. The winners that I chose, the framework that wasn't just measuring the number of engagement, the number of people that commented, the number of views. It was really the depth of what they expressed and the generosity in expressing to others, how much community, how much conversation was really created. And for the winners, they were, number one was someone named Erin. And it wasn't about having all the answers. She really was thoughtful in questioning the answers and pushing like a deep thought-provoking perspective and experience, not just in sharing her challenge, but really in commenting and giving perspective on others' challenges. And it really elevated the conversation and it kind of really led a sense of community. Number two, very different, was Kana. Her contribution wasn't just sharing the challenge. It was really like a manifesto on influence and her perspective of it. And it's worth reading. It was incredibly well written and articulated. She gave words to a lot of feelings and things that are often hard to put words around. And she really elevated that conversation and demonstrated real influence versus performance. And then number three was Alan. And what he did really well was personable and vulnerable in terms of not being afraid to share, like, this is the struggle that I'm dealing with. And I think a lot of people share the same struggles and it really resonated. And he also contributed well to other people's, and it got other people to really open up and feel more comfortable sharing. And so you can see the value creation metrics that I created below to sort of evaluate. I think the takeaway here is really, it's a quantity versus quality argument, and how we're measuring influence or how we're trying to build it with more credentials, more status, more followers isn't necessarily going to produce the outcomes that we want. So when somebody says influencer marketing is not working, or all my effort in creating my personal brand or my corporate brand isn't working, we need to look at what we're doing to create that. Are we really creating value that's offering impact, or are we just trying to create fame, popularity, and attention numbers, which often are called vanity metrics? So my challenge to you this week is to comment below with something in the past week in your life, whether it was an article, whether it was a post you saw on Instagram, whether it was an interaction you had at the grocery store that really influenced your way of thinking or your decision that day. It could be very trivial, it could be very big, but what was that? Number one. Number two is to comment, give perspective on two other people's influential moment. And then we will share. I want to see sort of the case studies and the examples that we put together, and you're helping me create this learning lab and really creating the real-time research and watching, not just learning about talking about influence, but kind of seeing in real person how it's done. And I think that gives a lot of weight when you actually, it's like cooking. You can watch a cooking show, you can read a cooking book, but until you actually turn on the stove, put the ingredients in, do it yourself, it's entirely different and you get it differently. So that's what I want to do here. I think business is the same way. We actually have to do it in real time. And by participating in this, I thank you. You're a really big part of this community. And I can't wait to see and read and respond to all of your influential moments in the past week. And I'm curious to see kind of where they come from. I can't wait to see you guys back here, if not first in the comments below next week. Bye, guys.